Hi, I'm Mike with House on the Mend, and in part 2 of our review of the Farexon Electric Standing Desk, I'm going to keep my promise, which is to show you how I made some great improvements to the desk. Number 1, put in a drawer, full extension drawer slides. 2, I mounted a power strip underneath the table so as you raise and lower it, it doesn't pull your cords out. And 3, we dealt with the problem of this mat being oversized and thus not giving you access to the cable tenders. So let's get started.
If you break it, he will fix it. If you buy it, he will build it. House on the Mend.
So my original plan was to mount the drawer right here and screw right into these 2 cross beams, and then right where you see this line, I would notch out the metal rack here for this bar that spins. Only problem with that is it's way too far back from the front of the table, and even worse over where the table starts cutting in here. So it would be so far back when you pulled it out you wouldn't be able to even get your hand in. So that area is not going to work. Instead, we're going to mount it over this way, right like this. And that way there'll only be a slight amount of overhang from where the table is tapered back, and it'll be out of the way so our legs aren't bumping into it over here. So I think that's going to work best. Now there's a few modifications we're going to need to make here to install this. First of all, even though I love the placement of the keypad, it has to be moved over to the other side, which is really no problem because there's the same screws over on the other side. So let's move that out of the way. Now, to go right here, we're going to need something to anchor these brackets onto. And so I took a measurement of this bar, and it's not necessarily square, it's more rectangular, but nonetheless it comes up from the tabletop 1.25 inches. So I have 1.25 inch square stock that I cut, and this is available at Lowe's or Home Depot, very easy to get, doesn't need to be too thick. But I'm going to put one piece way over here, and that way when we set this guy in place, like that, we'll be able to screw in on both sides. As you can see here, there's this nice area where we can screw holes and then mount screws right into this square tubing. So since it's square tubing, I'm going to make a hole that goes through this side and through the bottom side. Then I'm going to enlarge this hole so I can get a screwdriver and a screw head through here into this, and a very shallow wood screw to secure in, say, 2 or 3 spots to the tabletop. So I've marked on the square stock where the holes are pre-drilled on the drawer slides, and that gives me an indication of where I can pre-drill for wood screws to go into the bottom of the tabletop. So for instance, in between there I can easily get 1, 2, 3 wood screws, and another 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do 3 on each side because this tabletop is not very thick. It's maybe 3/4 or 1 inch. So I'm not going to get a lot of purchase with each screw, and therefore I'm going to distribute the weight and the load on them with 3 on each side. And just like that, through the magic of YouTube editing, these 2 pieces are drilled out and ready to go. So first thing I did was drill through both sides with a smaller drill bit. And then I came back with a step-up drill bit and I widened these holes so that these wood screws can get through that side, but will hold down the smaller side. After that, I cleaned everything up with acetone to get all the manufacturing oils and my own body oils off of it. Painted it all with some Rust-Oleum paint, and now we are just about ready to install them. The last little touch is these 1.25" end caps. They're made specifically for this box steel, so you just put them on there like that and push them into place. Yeah. Cool. And since this one is butting up against this crossbar, we'll just put one on the front. There. Doesn't that dress it up nice? And the last one. Good. This time, instead of wood screws, I'm going to switch to self-tapping screws meant for metal. There's one. Last one. Nice. Perfect. So this is the power strip I got. It not only has these 4 plugs here, but on either side it's got 2 smaller ones, very commonly used for charging phones and smaller devices. But the best thing about it is it also has this bank of 4 USB ports right here. So I'm going to put it about right here so everything can comfortably lead right into this cord controller. Now, the mounting spots here are actually so small that even these tiny little wood screws won't fit into those holes. So because of that, I cleaned both surfaces with rubbing alcohol. I took off these 4 feet, and now I've applied some adhesive backed Velcro, and I think all I'm going to do is just put this in place, and if it doesn't work out, then I'll find some smaller screws. Good. Now I'll just trail out enough of this cord so that when the table is elevated to its full height, it doesn't pull on the cable. And now let's rectify one of my pet peeves, which was this mouse pad or mat, which I actually really like, covers up the cord tenders. So I'm going to take a piece of chalk and I'm just going to run around the outline here. And I'm going to use a razor blade and cut into the material. And that might be good enough to just push it through, but I think I'm going to cut out some of it. Boom, there's one. And 2. So much better. So there we go, 3 great, much needed improvements. This drawer is a game changer. To be able to have my notepad, my hyperdrive so I can transfer files over to my iPad is just so handy. And the power strip turning 1 outlet into 12, and then no matter what height the table is at, you don't have to worry any longer about yanking out your power cord. and finally coming up with a solution where I can utilize these really nice little cable tenders. So if you found this video helpful, will you please give it a thumbs up? It really helps the algorithms to start suggesting it to more people like you. Also, please consider subscribing. I work really hard to put out good quality content, and there's more videos to come. I'm going to leave links for everything that I utilized here for these upgrades. Now, full disclosure, they're Amazon affiliate links, so if you click on them and end up making a purchase, it won't cost you a thing, but I do get a small reward at the end of the month. It helps to justify the time and effort it takes to make these videos. Until next time, thank you for watching.